Hello all, this is the introduction to the video channel, that YouTube channel that I'm starting, and it's called Therapeutic Outdoors, and there's a reason why I've called it that, um, and I'll explain that. I'm a person who lives with type 1 diabetes, and also I have some complications due to long-term type 1 diabetes. I, uh, I've had some struggles as I've moved into my 30s and 40s with increasing problems due to the diabetes. Uh, I have low vision, so I basically don't have much of my peripheral vision left. I've had surgeries and such, and laser treatments, and whole 9 yards. And there was a point in time when my diabetes was not managed that great, so that could have contributed to some of this. But a lot of it is just long term, over 30 some odd years of having type 1 diabetes. Now I do have this kind of stuff that's affecting me, and I also have I have a what's called a polyneuropathy that affects both sensory and motor nerves within like my peripheral nervous system, which is so kind of complicated. But these things, I'm stiff and sore and things like that, and so all of this combined can lead to struggles with my emotional well-being, and can be a bit of a struggle as far as my well-being is concerned. I run into some bouts of depression and things like that, and it's not the easiest thing to cope with. So the reason why I'm starting this channel is because I want to bring about awareness to other people who may have some physical limitations to a certain degree. Like, I think a lot of times we think that we have more limitations than what we really do, and once we go out and we try things and we build some confidence, we're able to have be able to do the things that we didn't think we were able to do. And when my complications were worsening in I think it was 2013, 2014, I thought to myself, well, I got to get out there, and I got to get, there's things I want to do in life still, and especially things in the outdoors that I wanted to try and to be part of, because I really enjoy the outdoors, and it's something that is special to me. So I it just all started with a bike ride. I was going to go on a bike ride with a friend of mine, and we decided that we would ride our bicycles from Cambridge to Paris on the Cambridge to Paris rail trail, which that trail links up with a lot of other trails and will actually eventually get you to Dundas Valley area and into Hamilton. So it's a network of trails that kind of join together, rail trails and other trails. So anyway, so that day we just went out for, it was just going to be a few kilometers. We ended up riding all the way to Brantford and back to Cambridge, which was like 80 kilometers in total. And I did not think that I had the ability to do that because of the the neuropathy and some of the weakness that had overcome me because of the nervous system problems. But it really surprised me that I was able to do more than I thought I was able to. And then that led to cycle camping, and my friend Rob and I would we'd go pack up our bicycles and put panniers on the back racks on our bikes, and we rode to Valens Campground just outside Hamilton. We took that same rail trail system, which is kind of a long way around, but it was an enjoyable way of going and trying out the whole cycle camping idea. And then we ended up, I don't know, about a year later, riding our bicycles to McGregor Point Provincial Park, just by Port Elgin in Ontario. And that was a 2-day trip. Like, we stopped in Clifford, Ontario, and camped one night at a seasonal place where they let us stay there, and they charged us $20, which was kind of cool. And we went on to McGregor Point. We stayed there for about 5 days, and then cycled back and stayed again in Clifford, Ontario, and then went to, back home. So that was a very interesting trip, and it was kind of grueling, and it was kind of rough, and it was kind of hard to do that, especially having the issues that I had going on, and the vision problems and everything else. But whatever, these things can be overcome. And what I've found, and then this has just escalated into even more camping excursions and traveling by canoe. I ended up buying a canoe this past year in 2017. My friend Rob ended up getting a car, so we weren't cycle camping anymore. We were putting a canoe on his car, and away we were going. So we went to, places like Massasauga Park, Provincial Park, which is up by Parry Sound in Ontario, and we also went to the Halliburton Highland Water Trails and did a little 5-day excursion there, and portaging and such. And I did my first portaging ever last year, and that was at Massasauga in May. And we also ended up going to Bon Echo Park and staying in some backcountry there, canoe to a backcountry site. It's pretty much a beginner's trip, that was. And that was interesting and enjoyable. And we did a few car camping trips as well. And then one of the best ones was Killarney. We went to Killarney Provincial Park in Ontario, which is a beautiful place to go, and really enjoyed that. And what I'm trying to do on these trips is practice some mindfulness, and also practice connecting with nature, connecting with the flow of things, and being present more so in that moment. And one thing that I do find about camping in backcountry and traveling in backcountry is that I'm able to really stay present, because just doing things like camp chores, or the things you have to do that's involved in camping, you're most of the time you're in the moment in what you're doing, and that is so therapeutic. And I just want to encourage others to come out and try it. I even feel that my friend Rob and I, we can be guides for people if need be. And I think that's what this channel's about. It's about getting people out there who feel that maybe they're not capable of going out into backcountry, or capable of going on these excursions because of there's some health issues, maybe there's some depression, those kinds of things going on, maybe some physical limitations, but I think that everybody can in some way be able to experience the outdoors in a therapeutic manner. I think that and I'm a firm believer in mindfulness, and I know that this has helped me and really, really has changed my way of being able to be part of this, and it really, really gives me something. It's something that's worthwhile and something that gives me hope, right? I have hope in things, and the next little adventure, and what I'm going to discover in nature, and what I'm going to discover about myself, because there's a lot of things that I have discovered about myself as I go along on these trips. Some of it's not necessarily the best parts of me either, but it allows me to have better awareness of myself, and be able to work on some of the things that that needs to be worked on within me. So it's very therapeutic. Yeah. So, basically, I just want to read to you, like, the YouTube channel. This is what it's about. This is the description of it. And I hope that this can expand into even something bigger, where myself and Rob and others who have different physical struggles or mental struggles and things like that, are able to come together. Rob and I and certain others, maybe we're able to help guide people so that they can have confidence in the outdoors and go on trips together. So what we do is, what this is going to be about is, we aim to inspire, empower, and guide people towards inclusive therapy that is related to outdoor adventurous experiences. So we are people who struggle with illness ourselves, and have experienced overwhelming benefits from the outdoor adventures, as I mentioned before. These adventurous experiences. We have also combined outdoor experience with other known therapies, such as mindfulness and modified yoga. Like, when I was in Bon Echo, I was doing some yoga, like sun salutations and things like that, out on rocky kind of formations with some moss on them. It was such a beautiful way to get in touch with nature, and to be able to be connecting my mind and body and being present in the moment. And wow, the experience is etched in my mind. And these kinds of things, I can go to those places when I'm in everyday life, in the city, right? So that was one of the things that I think, combining this kind of thing, like hiking, and thinking about my breathing, those kinds of things, portage, and canoe, and your stuff that you got, and rather than thinking about, well, am I going to get to that point B that I got to get to from point A to point B, it's about being in the moment and actually enjoying that journey. And so this is what I hope to maybe guide people with this on trips. So what we do is, we go on backcountry canoe trips, hiking trips, winter hiking, cycle camping at car camping parks, provincial parks, and I also do just adventuring around locally in different conservation areas, or different trails that are around in my local area of Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge, Ontario. It's amazing how many trails and things are available, and nature areas that exist within the city, or just outside of the city, or And just that alone is very therapeutic and interesting too. So, I will have some videos incorporating that kind of adventure as well. And like I said before, we hope to encourage those who feel that they're not really capable of participating in outdoor experiences. Those people who kind of want to, but just don't really have the confidence to get out there on their own. Well, I hope to encourage those people. I hope that you will go out and try your own little adventures, or try these adventures with us.